Episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me. In today's episode, we are continuing the coverage of the Excelsior Springs man who kidnapped a 22-year-old woman, held her captive for a month while he did the unthinkable to her. And I did a video on this, so you can definitely get completely caught up on that. And I will leave the video right up here on this. It'll take a while after the live before I can put it up there, but you can follow that if you don't already know this story. And so I shared the complete update on that, but now more shocking details have come out about this story. Let's go ahead and dive into it, why don't we? The first question is, did police blow it? What do I mean by that? Well, we come to find out that some shocking new details emerge in the kidnapping of the woman who escaped his basement where she was held for a month. And so now people want answers, and I don't blame them. So this 22-year-old black woman in Missouri who escaped after a white man abducted, tortured, and held her captive for weeks in a basement has said several other black women were killed by her captor. Less than a month after police dismissed community concerns about a serial killer as completely unfounded. And so now people are wanting answers as to why did this happen, and why wasn't there more information about this guy? Why wasn't more done when this was going out? Well, here is a lot of the reasons. So now we do know that law enforcement is looking into deeper allegations from the kidnappee who was kidnapped, who said that she had a couple friends who were also killed by this deranged lunatic. And so now Excelsior Springs Police say they are now actively investigating the possibility of other victims after the victim claimed that her captor killed two of my friends. And so, but a local Kansas City community leader, he's upset. He is upset, and I don't blame him one bit. And so Bishop Tony Caldwell, who is a local Kansas City community leader, insists the community was already aware that black women were going missing before the victim escaped. And so Caldwell released a video back in mid-September urging police to take this serious. And so he was urging the police and media to investigate the alleged disappearance of three black women. And we really don't know more than that, to be completely honest with you, other than why wasn't more done? And so he got on video and he was really upset and speaking his mind about it. He says, I'm a little upset because we got 4 young ladies that have been murdered within the last week. He says off of 85th and Prospect. He believes this is a serial killer. Police are not saying anything. Media's not covering this. So he was pretty upset. That's what he's asking. Like, what is the problem? Why can't we do it? Because he's like, why isn't something done here? And so he was pretty upset. But see, here's the thing. Police did respond to his video clip. And so they responded to the clip, which also claims 4 women had been murdered, and say that the claims were completely unfounded. So the Kansas City Police Department, they said, we want to make the public aware this claim is completely unfounded. There is no basis to support this rumor. So basically they're saying that he is sharing a rumor and there is no truth to this. But Caldwell insists that his reports of women going missing were too close to the reported abduction of the 22-year-old to be ignored. And so he says in an interview with the Kansas City Defender, we were talking about these young ladies being snatched off Prospect. This young lady was snatched off Prospect. He added that his description of the kidnapper had matched that of the suspect. And he says, that was the description of the guys we were talking about, and that was the location we said they were being taken from. And he continues, I'm just sorry that it took so long, but I'm grateful that the 22-year-old found a way out. And he tells the defender, I'm sorry people didn't act on it sooner. And it's absolutely tragic that the other young ladies didn't make it. It's horrible. And when you really stop and think about it, when she was rescued, she said, he killed two of my friends. And then you find out about this video. Come on, how do you not put two and two together and think, okay, he was already alleging that there was a serial killer on the loose. The police dismissed that idea completely. And then this happens. Who was taken from this area in Kansas City, Missouri? And again, I don't care if she was a prostitute. I mean, I care, but in this particular story, I'm holding no judgment. That has nothing to do with this case. And so it sounds like maybe this guy, if Timothy Haslett is associated with these kidnapping slash killings, that there might have been some serious, might have been some truth behind this. And so that is where it's completely like odd. And so Officer Donna Drake insisted that police had received no missing person report from that area. And she tells the Huffington Post, there have been no reports made to our Department of Missing Persons from Prospect Avenue in Kansas City. She continues, in order to begin a missing persons investigation, someone would need to file a report with our department identifying the missing party. And so Haslett has been charged with first-degree rape, first-degree kidnapping, and second-degree assault. And the thing about this is, this gentleman who you see on your screen, by all means, he is someone that seems like he cares about his community. So Bishop Caldwell, he compared it to another serial killer back in the early 2000s, Terry Blair. Now, Terry Blair was a Kansas City serial killer who was convicted of killing 7 women of various ages in Kansas City, though investigators believe he may have additional unidentified victims. The thing is that police did not start taking this seriously until more people started talking. But you know who was talking the most? The serial killer himself, Terry Blair. You see, he was calling in to 911 dispatch to claim responsibility for killing the 2 victims that they had discovered the day before, and notified police where to find additional body hidden in an alley a few blocks away from the first 2. Now, the caller contacted 911 again on September 4th of that year to reveal the location of 2 more victims in 2004 in an overgrown area near a highway, and he promised to call again. Now, he stopped contacting dispatchers after a news station leaked information about how the caller was using a cell phone. Police found several additional murder victims, one of whom had earlier been erroneously classified as a drug overdose, and several women who reported rapes and assaults possibly linked to the murders. All the victims were found in a small radius near Prospect Avenue. Now, if you watch First 48, he was one of the episodes. And so until this came out where Bishop Caldwell was sharing and compared it to Terry, I didn't really see the correlation, but I had seen this episode of First 48 a while ago. I've probably watched every single episode of First 48. And he did an interview where he even teared up while he was in prison about it. But truth is, he had a lot of hate. And he said bad things to 911 dispatch as to why he believed they needed to be killed. You see, they were all prostitutes in the Prospect area, in the Prospect Avenue area. And he believes they were the worst of the worst. And he also, I believe, some of this anger came from his mother, who did, I don't know, abandoned him or did something. I don't remember the whole story. But his anger towards them did stem from, I believe, his mother. So he would call the 911 dispatcher and he would say, yes, I want to report 2 more bodies today. And he said, I will call back and report another 2 tomorrow. He would call in. And you see, this is the key. This is why I'm always saying, this is why investigators are tight-lipped about sharing anything. Because when the news shared about the cell phone and him using the cell phone, he stopped calling in because he knew they were getting closer to him. This is a prime example of why they don't like things to leak earlier than need be. So as people wanting more information, yes, we do get frustrated with law enforcement that we don't know exactly what it is that they're not sharing with us for obvious reasons, right? And so this is why, this is exactly. So as you can see, if you follow First 48, 29th Street and Park Avenue in Kansas City was where they found one of the bodies. Again, not far from what was going on here now in this new case with Timothy Haslett Jr. Except white man may be the killer. Now again, the only ties right now are the fact that the one who escaped, thank the Lord she escaped, the 22-year-old that escaped, she said he killed 2 of my friends. And again, they're still trying to, now they're really investigating hard. But before that, they were not investigating very hard. And so when the police issued a statement after his video, Bishop Caldwell's video went viral, they issued a statement. We are aware of the social media posts circulating regarding the murder of 4 women in Kansas City, Missouri in the past week at the hands of a serial killer and the report of 3 additional women missing. We want to make the public aware this claim is completely unfounded. There is no basis to support this rumor. Furthermore, we notify the media anytime we respond to a homicide. There is a daily homicide analysis which is also posted on our website. There has been 1 female homicide victim in the last 6 weeks, which occurred in the 3600 block of Cypress Hill. And I will throw a little bit of my thought on here because I think it's relevant in a couple different ways. For a long, long time, police seem to write off prostitutes until people start hounding them. And something about the black community does not seem to get as much exposure as the white community, whether it's a crime committed against them or them doing the crime. I don't understand. Even with my videos, I notice a difference in the engagement and the following. And so why isn't there a balance of media attention? Because obviously media is going to go with what will get us exposure. Why do they feel that they need to segregate what they're going to be following? I, for one, am not a fan of that. I do notice that. I do notice the attention that these people will get. Kylie Rodney, who was a missing teenager, who then her car was found in there. People are still talking about that even after the autopsy showed it was an accidental drowning. It's like people will do anything to keep it in the news, but then you have all a bunch of other missing women who may be African American, and no one is talking about that. That is disturbing. All humans should be treated equally. I'm going to get off my soapbox on that. I do notice a difference. And so, with Bishop Caldwell speaking up on this, I have to say, why wasn't more attention on this case? That I will leave it there. And so that was their statement to that. And now Timothy Haslett, he is he is in jail, no bail, and this young lady that he snatched was off Prospect Avenue. And that's where it's so hard. And Caldwell, he insists that his reports of women going missing were too close to the reported abduction of the 22-year-old to be ignored. I uh, I agree, Mr. Caldwell. And he said we were talking about these young ladies being snatched, and then here it is, this young lady was snatched off Prospect. He added that his description of the kidnapper had matched that of the suspect. That was the description of the guy we were talking about, and that was the location we said they were being taken from. That's according to Bishop Caldwell. And he says, I'm just sorry that it took so long, but I'm grateful that the 22-year-old found a way out. And he tells the defender, I'm sorry people didn't act on it sooner. And it's absolutely tragic that the other young ladies didn't make it. It's horrible. And I agree. That's why I'm repeating what he said. And so Haslett has since been charged with first degree rape, first degree kidnapping, and second degree assault. And so the 22-year-old woman was found wearing a metal dog collar with a padlock, a trash bag, and duct tape around her neck. She claimed to have been repeatedly raped and whipped when she was hidden in the basement with her wrists and ankles handcuffed out of this home that you see right here. Now, paramedics noted that the collar was restricting her ability to breathe when they removed it from her neck. And the woman said there were other victims as well who were her friends but didn't make it. That, my friends, definitely that adds some credibility to what Bishop Caldwell was saying. It definitely adds credibility to that because she says there were other victims as well who were her friends but didn't make it. And here Mr. Caldwell was saying 4 black girls have been killed, 3 are missing. Oh, my friends, 3 were missing. Could those 3, I'm just speculating here, but could those 3 be the 22-year-old that kidnapped and her 2 friends who, according to the 22-year-old, didn't make it? And so that is where it's extremely hard on this. And so Sierra Tharp and Lisa Johnson, they were neighbors of Haslett, and they found the 22-year-old when she was escaping from his basement. And that's where it's like it's so hard that this is straight out of a horror movie as one of the neighbors described. And one neighbor did contact the police. This is the nurse and her husband that the 22-year-old first escaped to, and she was climbing up those stairs when she was seen, and then the lady came out. And so it's like, my gosh. But it took the neighbor contacting the police, who then began their investigation. And according to Johnson, according to Lisa Johnson, who I believe this is her in the picture, but there's also another one. Yeah, believe this is Lisa Johnson. Johnson believed the woman to be now malnourished, claiming she likely didn't weigh more than 100 pounds. And so now we wonder, why did this happen? Because Kansas City, after this viral social media post states that a serial killer is targeting young black girls in Kansas City, again, the Kansas City Police Department, however, said those claims are not verifiable. And so that was interesting. One person posted, "There's a serial killer in Kansas City targeting young girls and nobody is reporting on it. 4 victims in the past week and 3 more girls reported missing. We really got to protect our own because it's evident why this isn't newsworthy." This was from one person named Dawn who posted on social media. And this is where it's like, could this have been prevented? Or after Mr. Bishop's video went out, the 3 were already taken and it wasn't going to be prevented. Now, you see the boarding up of this home at Timothy Haslett's rental home. The police boarded that up. Not, not him himself hiding anything. The police did that. Here is Timothy Haslett. Now, it is said that the 22-year-old escaped when he took his little one to school. She said she escaped through the door, and when she ran to the neighbor. And then the police arrested him after pulling him over at a traffic stop. But the thing about it is they pull him over animal abuse. I don't know that at that very time they told him why they were pulling him over. And so now the complete home is all on lockdown, and now he is scheduled to appear in court. And actually, he did appear in court and he pleaded not guilty. And the 22-year-old black woman told police that Timothy Haslett Jr. had abducted her and imprisoned her in a basement room in Excelsior Springs, which is a city just northeast of Kansas City. There, he whipped and raped her repeatedly. And she said, according to her, on October 7th, after about a month in the basement, she fled and sought help from neighbors while the man was taking his child to school. When she escaped, she was still wearing her metal collar locked with a padlock that authorities had to remove. And so now they're investigating whether those 2 that she said did not make it, is that who she was looking? Who is it? Is it her? Is it them? Is it them that Mr. Bishop said was missing? Because let's be real, if this is true, why did the police brush it off? Why? And those are the type of things that really upset a lot of people. Wouldn't you agree? Like that's what really upsets a lot of people when we're not taking these things seriously. We should definitely be taking this stuff seriously. And as you can see, this was the police department, completely unfounded rumor about serial killer in Kansas City is untrue. Kansas City Police Department social media rumors regarding a serial killer targeting women are untrue. Kansas City Police shuts down rumors of serial killer targeting black women. Family searching for missing teens says it's damaging. Kansas City serial killer rumor is completely unfounded. You can see all of this and all of it. Like there were multiple articles about no. It's not true. Well, now, considering that she escaped very soon after, what does that say about it now? Well, truth is, I'm going to just give my thoughts. I think there was some truth behind it. Except we won't really know. We won't really know unless Timothy speaks up. Will he speak up? We'll never know. We'll never, ever know. And you can see the back of his home where he would park back there only on the weekends, according to a neighbor, was not a well-kept place. But at the end of the day, come on, my friends, we need some justice here. We need to know, why did this happen? Thanks to the neighbor who was, she was quick to call the police and help. And then on the way to the hospital is when she points out, this is the home I was being held captive at. Please, let's get some justice. Let's find out what is going on, because at the end of the day, this should not happen. And if this was brushed off, The police department's going to hear about it. The police department is going to hear about it. My friends, I'm Manny Rodriguez. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing day.